They always assume the quiet ones have something to confess. There's a moment, you know it well, when someone misreads your silence, assigns motives you never had, imagines a story that never happened. And suddenly, you find yourself explaining, defending, clarifying, soothing, translating your inner world into a language it never belonged to. Not to be understood, but to avoid being misunderstood. Not to be seen, but to prevent distortion. And afterward, there's that familiar exhaustion, the emotional hangover of having to justify your existence to someone who never actually wanted to understand you. Here's the strange, ancient truth. The more deeply you feel, the more the world demands proof that you deserve to exist. Plato knew this. He warned that in every society, the sensitive, the reflective, the soul-oriented are treated not as mirrors, but as puzzles. People don't try to see you, they try to solve you. And so the empath learns early. If I don't explain myself, they'll misunderstand me. And if they misunderstand me, I'll lose connection, safety, belonging. But connection built on self-erasure is not connection. It's performance. Still, there's that ache, that quiet, internal apology you carry into every interaction. The instinct to soften your tone so others won't feel threatened, to add context so no one assumes the worst, to over-explain a boundary so it won't look like rejection, to filter your emotions so you don't overwhelm anyone. You can feel the sentence forming before it escapes your mouth. Let me explain. Not because you did something wrong, but because someone else felt discomfort. And empaths, the deep-feeling, deeply aware ones, are allergic to disappointing people. It's not neediness, it's responsibility taken too far. You sense the emotional weather of the room before anyone speaks. You notice the micro-shift in someone's voice, the slight withdrawal, the invisible tension, and instantly your nervous system leaps into service. How can I fix it? How can I soothe it? How can I ensure they don't misunderstand my intention? But here's the quiet tragedy. Every time you explain yourself to protect someone else's comfort, you abandon your own. No one taught you this skill or this burden. You learned it by surviving, by being the emotionally aware one in rooms where others shut down, lashed out, or disappeared. You learned that harmony keeps you safe, even if it costs you honesty. So now, as an adult, you apologize for things that don't require apologies. You justify feelings that need no justification. You offer disclaimers before revealing truths. You shrink your emotional presence even in conversations where you are the one hurting. And afterward, you wonder why you feel invisible. Plato once suggested that most people don't actually listen. They wait for confirmation of what they already believe. They hear not what you say, but what fits their world. Which means the empath's desperation to be understood often falls on ears incapable of receiving them. This is the silent crisis of the sensitive soul. You see others clearly but rarely experience the same clarity in return. And yet, you keep trying, because you believe in fairness, because you believe understanding is possible, because you believe that if you just explain it better, slower, softer, they'll finally see you. But what if the need to explain yourself has nothing to do with them? What if it's a wound disguised as courtesy? A fear masquerading as kindness? A hope pretending to be responsibility? There's a deeper layer, the one people rarely talk about. Many empaths don't explain themselves to avoid conflict. They explain themselves because at some point in life, love was conditional. Acceptance required evidence. Safety demanded self-translation. Somewhere, someone taught you that being misunderstood was dangerous. Maybe it was a parent who only loved the version of you that pleased them. Maybe a partner who made you feel guilty for having needs. Maybe a friend who weaponized your honesty. Maybe a culture that praised emotional numbness and mocked emotional intelligence. So now, when someone raises an eyebrow, even slightly, your nervous system rushes to fix the imaginary damage. You think you're explaining a situation, but really, you're protecting the child inside you who once learned, "Love is lost when I'm unclear." Plato spoke of the cave, a metaphor for unconscious existence. people chained to shadows, believing them to be the whole world. When the empath tries to explain themselves to someone committed to shadows, it doesn't create understanding. It creates confusion, resentment, even fear. Because depth to the shallow feels like a threat. Because complexity to the rigid feels like chaos. Because honesty to the defended feels like attack, which means your explanations were never the bridge you thought they were. They were chains. There's an old story, rarely told, about a young student who approached Plato after a long debate. The boy felt misunderstood, dismissed, unseen. He said, "If they only knew my heart, they would not judge me so harshly. Should I return and explain myself?" Plato studied him for a long moment, then replied, "My boy, never waste your words on ears committed to misunderstanding you. Some minds do not seek truth, they seek confirmation." The boy frowned, "But they believe I am wrong." Plato smiled gently, "Then let them. If their belief has power over you, the misunderstanding is not theirs, it is yours." The student left confused, even offended, but years passed, and eventually he understood. Explanation does not free the empath, it binds them to the approval of others. Because here's the paradox: the more you explain yourself to someone, the less they feel responsible for understanding you. The more emotional labor you perform, the less they learn to meet you halfway. The more you justify your existence, the more they believe it needs justification. You become the translator of your own soul, instead of the one living it. And without noticing, you begin to measure your worth by how understandable you are to people who don't even understand themselves. Let that sink in. You are not misunderstood because you lack clarity. You are misunderstood because others lack capacity. Not everyone fears depth, but many do. Not everyone resists empathy, but many do. Not everyone welcomes truth, but many prefer comfort over consciousness. So when they say, "I don't get you," what they often mean is, "You are asking me to meet myself, and I'm not ready, and that's not your burden to fix." There is a sacred turning point in every empath's life, a moment not of rebellion, but of reclamation. When you finally realize, explanation is not connection, over-explaining is not intimacy, and understanding cannot be forced into unwilling hands. You don't owe the world an emotional PowerPoint presentation. Your feelings are not courtroom evidence. Your boundaries are not accusations. Your needs are not inconveniences. Your internal world is not a public service announcement. Silence does not make you guilty. Misunderstanding does not make you wrong. Not explaining does not make you unkind. There is a quiet power in letting someone sit with their own projections, not correcting them, not defending yourself, not rescuing them from discomfort, just witnessing it without absorbing it. Because the moment you stop explaining yourself, you begin observing others more clearly. Who seeks to understand you? Who seeks to control the narrative? Who listens to respond? Who listens to know you? Clarity reveals character, and that may be the real fear, not being misunderstood, but realizing who never cared to understand you to begin with. Sometimes the greatest self-respect is allowing the wrong people to misinterpret you. Let them invent stories, let them assume, let them reveal their worldview. The truth does not need your defense. Your soul does not need a spokesperson. And yet, this isn't about becoming cold or detached or indifferent. Empathy is your gift, your compass, your way of loving the world. But empathy without boundaries becomes emotional debt. Compassion without discernment becomes self-destruction. Plato believed that wisdom begins not with knowledge, but with refusal. The refusal to participate in what diminishes the soul. So perhaps the next time you feel that familiar urge rising, the tightening in the chest, the swirl of explanations gathering in your throat, pause. Notice the impulse. Ask softly, without urgency. Is this explanation meant to create connection or protect a wound? Sometimes the deepest healing is choosing silence, not as withdrawal, but as self-trust. Because the people meant for you will ask instead of assume. They will lean in, not pull away. They will seek understanding, not justification. They will offer emotional space, not emotional debt. They won't require a dissertation to believe in your heart. They will already feel it. And slowly, you begin to understand something ancient, liberating, beautifully unsettling. You were never supposed to be universally understood. You were supposed to be deeply understood by a rare few. Your soul is not a public broadcast. It is a frequency, only heard by those tuned to it. So if you're an empath, stop explaining yourself. Not out of defiance, but out of reverence. Reverence for your energy, for your intuition, for your emotional intelligence, for the depth that has always set you apart. You are not difficult to understand. You are simply not meant to be understood by everyone. And what a sacred relief that is. Maybe life isn't asking you to be clearer. Maybe it's asking you to be quieter within yourself, to trust what you know without requiring permission. Maybe the point isn't to avoid being misunderstood, but to become comfortable being accurately seen by only those who are capable, because those who misunderstand you will continue to do so, even after your most eloquent explanations. And those who understand you will continue to do so, even in your silence. So let silence speak for you. Let presence speak for you. Let your life, your boundaries, your self-trust speak for you. And maybe, just maybe, stop explaining what was never meant to be explained. Only lived. Some connections begin with understanding. Others begin with projection. Time reveals which is which. Stay long enough to witness that revelation without shrinking yourself to prevent it. You are not here to be decoded. You are here to be known. And those who can know you will, without explanation.